Then we go here. Where is it? Streaming now. YouTube. Thoughts on Tim and Alex. Okay. So we're going to have some fun today, or else. Or else. It's not a joke. Let me get the camera ready. Let's give people a minute to get in here. And then we're going to have a fun, I'm blurry. And then we're going to have a fun time. I hope everyone's having a fun Friday night. I haven't done one of these in I don't know when's the last time. I did my caviar stream. It's not obvious what the dates are on these things for YouTube. Or I'm just being a full boomer. December 1st. So it's been like, wow, 2 weeks. That's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. So hope you're having a fun Friday. I'm not done with 2020. So if you go to malice.locals.com, there's lots of stuff in the works that people are privy to. But there's stuff I have to. Here's the thing: like, you can't talk about these things publicly because a lot of times they fall through. I've got a lot of. I have like, how many shows do I have ready for me in LA? Yeah, there's a document. I have the documents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 shows to do. And 2 of them I've not done before, and you're all going to be very, very, very excited. So, okay, we got 100 people in here. I wanted to take a minute to talk about our sponsors. I think it's better with the towel, because I think the towel keeps it from focusing on the camera, on the CDs. So we're going to do this again. And you can see there we go. It's upside down. I don't care. That's just worse. This is just Boomer Town. Population me. Okay. So, 200 people here. We have to take a second to talk about our sponsor, which I'm wearing right now, which is Sheath. If you go to sheathunderwear.com and use promo code Malice20, you get 20% off. And I always talk about it. Let me show you guys what it is. This is a new package of Sheath. This is what you get. Pop it open. And then here's the underwear. It's inside out. Little card. Golden ticket into my pants. So actually, this is better that it's inverted, because you can see the pouch. I'm telling you, you just look at this, you're like, this is so weird. And then you wear them, and you're like, this is the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn. So I swear by these things. They sponsor the show. I wear them every day. If you go to sheathunderwear.com and use promo code Malice20, you get 20% off. I had a pair for Tim and Alex, and I didn't get to give it to them because it was so frenetic. Maybe is the right word. So before we start talking about the shows, and I'm sure we'll get to a lot of your questions, I've had 3 bags of chips sitting around for a long time from other countries, and we're going to try them. So we have, this is from Thailand. No, it looks Chinese. It looks Chinese. This is Taiwan. This is from Taiwan. These are lemon flavored Lay's. Then we have from Thailand, KFC flavored Lay's. And then finally we have Scallop flavored Lay's. Oh, come on. The scallops are raw. Oh, come on. It's not possible. So we're going to try all 3 of them. Okay, lemony ones just taste like potato chips, French fried taters. Let's get a small one. So this is what it looks like. Oh, it's just bad. The lemon is not good. Oh, it's mild, but it like tastes like something spoiled. Not good. Not good at all. So that's a miss for me. It's just a mild like hint of like something like bitterness and acidity. It's no bueno. Okay, let's try the scallop. Let's see the ingredients if they actually have scallop in them. Potato, rice bran, seasoning, bulking agent, flavor enhancers, MSG, anti-caking agent, acidity regulator, nature identical flavor. So there's no scallop in here. But let's try it. Oh, this smells like seafood. That's weird. Oh, these are ridged. So this is what they look like. This tastes weird. It definitely does taste like seafood. Oh, no good. No good at all. No, it's all right. I get into it. I could get into it. It's got like a shrimp flavor. I can get into it. And the last one. Oh, the chat's not updating. That's okay. The last one is the KFC. Let's see. How do I update this? Huh. I guess I'm not going to see any of the chats. These are also ridged. That's what they look like. Focus. There it is. This doesn't remind me of KFC, but it is like a bit of a very mild kick and also salty. Maybe it is the KFC seasoning, but out of the chicken context, it doesn't taste like you would think. Let me see something because I'm not seeing the chat update. So I wonder what happens if I go look at my own. So I wonder. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing the super chats, and there is one. What in 2021? Why isn't it not appearing here? This is weird. They're not updating it in what in 2021 are you most looking forward to? Have a happy Kwanzaa and a great new year. I would say finishing the book. Yeah, finishing the book. Oh, and also big news. Good news, everybody. The cartoon that Tom Woods and I did is dropping in January. So there's 10 episodes. They're going to be spaced out, apparently. It's going to be sick. I can't wait. You're all going to... What if I hit refresh on this? Let me see. I'm not seeing the... Having issues. This is unprecedented, guys, because usually the stream updates and now it's not. Let me hit... let's see. I think I killed the scream. Okay, everyone's back. It's not updating the chat in this window. Okay. Catfish loves seafood. Hi, Catfish. I can't make this The chat's up here. That's very frustrating on the screen for everyone to see. What does a Biden presidency mean for North Korea as opposed to a Trump reelection? Okay, that's a very good question, and I am very concerned about it, extremely concerned about it. Trump made it a priority. This was his first issue he talked about when he became president. He had Xi Jinping over at Mar-a-Lago talking about North Korea. This was, he had the guy who was the refugee holding up his crutch at the State of the Union address. For 8 years, and I can't blame them in a sense, the Obama administration didn't do anything. I don't think Biden cares about North Korea one way or another. So it's very, very unfortunate that this is a lost opportunity. It's very unfortunate that it's been so much became Trump's issue that I think there's going to be a desire to kind of drop it. It bums me out, I mean, in all honesty. But hopefully things are happening from the South Korean perspective as opposed to doing it with the U.S. So that's my point there. Why is this not? This is really bothering me. You're one of my heroes. Just want to say hi. Well, thank you, Adam. That's very nice of you. Hi. Do you know if there's a pill compass test? Ooh, that's such a good question. There isn't that I know of, but I should do that. That's a great one. Well, I'm too lazy, but that's really a good one. Why don't people drop political pamphlets over North Korea? Wouldn't red pilling North Koreans work better than nukes? I think you need to read my book to answer that question, because if you read it, it would be a very obvious answer. Still no comments here. Let me see settings. Green screen, audio, camera in general. Yeah. Okay. When you said that all cops are criminals without exception, are you including all of law enforcement at every single function? For example, someone whose entire job is specialized to imprison rapists and pedophiles. I don't know if that's such a thing exists. So if in that theoretical case, I don't know that that's how it works. So this is something I'm happy to plead ignorance about. Was the 2020 election a Pochambo-esque loss for the cathedral? Was it a different event, or is a Pochambo yet to happen? I think I mentioned this on a stream I had this tweet storm. I think that for the cathedral, 2020 was Hillary in 2008, where she wasn't thinking past New Hampshire, and she already had the curtains picked out for the White House. And all their energy was based on stopping Trump. And they said for years, and have started to believe, apparently, that once you get rid of him, all these things that he caused would just vanish of their own weight. None of that happened at all. And now it's like, okay, there's just a BuzzFeed article today that I retweeted, or replied to rather. Well, Trump is radicalizing his base, and they do not have the capacity, either psychologically or through how they receive data, to understand that. And since they're the good guys, they can't be to blame, how little this had to do with Trump. So I think we are seeing narrative collapse in real time. And narrative collapse is also when you know what they're going to say, and there's no part of you that wants to correct them and engage. It's like, you know what it is? It's like when the husband comes home and he's been having an affair. Oh, here's the chats now. Okay, here we go. The husband, let me put the question on the screen. The husband comes home and he's been having an affair. And the wife's like, why do you smell like perfume? And he's like, oh, we've been over this. I apologized. You never trust me. And it's just like, you're lying. I know you're like, why are we doing this charade? So I think that's the situation that's going on. If the CCP had 2 million folks out and about back in 2016, how many do you reckon they have today? I don't know. If you mean the Chinese Communist Party had 2 million folks out and about, I have no idea. This is something I'm completely uninformed about. So I apologize for not having any kind of answer for you. Okay. Okay, good. That's okay. I'm caught up. Great. I'm going to close this window. So let's talk a bit about. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, no, they are criminals. Even the rapists and the ones fighting murderers, because they are looking the other way when their colleagues are breaking the law. So yeah, I stand by my without exception. Before COVID, the excuse was climate change. Before that is global warming. Before that, terrorism. The circumstances change, but their solution remains the same: global government. Exactly. This is one of the big theses of my book, which is you can do this BoomerCon thing, argue, but whatever issue they come up with, they're just going to come up with infinite. It doesn't matter. It's just like they have a toolbox. They don't care about transgender bathrooms. If they cared about transgender bathrooms, they're not inviting over all these Muslims. You can't have both. So instead of fighting over this issue or that, it's like, what are the tactics and how do you make the tactics impotent? How would someone counter arguments that they're a hypocrite for criticizing cops if they helped them in the past? Oh, that's easy. So if you lock me, here's an extreme example. This is something but it's to prove a point, because I don't think cops are as bad as this example. If someone imprisons you in your home and they give you food, right? They're not a hero. You're not supposed to be grateful for them. So if a cop makes it so you can't defend yourself, and then they defend you, it's not gratitude. First of all, you shouldn't be grateful for someone doing their job. Second, you left me no choice. I'm powerless because of you. So if you're giving me back a little bit of power, I'm not, like if the income tax is 50% and you get a 10% income tax refund, it's not grateful. It's just like, you stole from me and gave me some back. You're still the bad guy here. You're just trying to feel a little less guilt. Just finished Bernays' propaganda. I believe you've mentioned. I have. It's astounding how explicitly they describe how they're going to use institutions like schools for their ends. Thanks for the recommendation. People ask me for book recommendations all the time. If you go to my Goodreads and you sort it by rating, books that I give 5 stars to, which are very few, are books that I can recommend to literally everyone. That I say, this is something everyone should read. 4 stars are like, I had a lot. I gained a lot from it. There's some quality missing. Maybe it's too niche. Maybe it's not written too great. Whatever. 5 stars, and I'm 90% sure I gave Bernays 5 stars. Has Dave told you his plans for the LP takeover? Obviously, can't tell us specifics, but if so, is it exciting? We have not discussed it at all. The Libertarian Party is of very, very little interest to me. One of the things that people often ask me is you should have this or that like libertarian figure on your show. And I do not do libertarian podcasts as a rule, other than my friends. And I don't bring on those. I don't think those are the kind of people who, unless they're a name, my audience is interested in hearing. There's some exceptions, like the guy from Liberland. Okay, this is an interesting story, but it's not because he was a libertarian. It's because, okay, he invented a country. This is something I want to talk about. What about the cops who tased the ATF in Columbus, Ohio? They were decent as far as cops go. Yeah, for 5 minutes. There's plenty of cops who do wonderful things. That's not even a question. You can't deny that cops catch murderers, catch rapists, save kids, all these wonderful things. They're all criminals still. A murderer only kills someone once a year. It's not like he's murdering 25/8. Cyber attack, first thoughts. Why are you wearing the sunglasses, Boomer? That's my first thought. Where are we? Do you know about Operation Snow White? Why did it gotta be white? Where thousands of Scientologist agents infiltrate 136 government agencies to destroy documents critical to the church. I am familiar with this. I've read a couple of books about Scientology. Started following you from the first Hamilton-Jefferson debate with Tom Woods. Happy to see you out there red-pilling the normies. Love the commentary on media's bloodlust, also Ishmael memes. Well, thank you. It is very, very much appreciated. I think that's an important part. To talk about the media, if they were just like lefties who were like, we need more welfare, we need more jobs for minorities, they're treated unfairly, which I think is true to some extent. Schools are too expensive. The deck is stacked against people from certain backgrounds. Gay people need to be treated with respect. Those are issues you can have a discussion with. We want to kill your children overseas where they're killing other people's children. We're not having this conversation. And that's the very big difference. So you have this thing as like a bias. No, everyone has a bias, probably inevitable. When your agenda is we got to have boots on the ground in Syria and you're invoking the Holocaust, you are completely the enemy of the people. God, there's so many of you here. You gave Bernays 3 stars. Well, it's a very recommended book. Thank you for letting me know. Maybe it was just tediously written. My cousin's cancer treatment has been canceled. Oh my God, because government is redirecting everything toward COVID. At least she'll die knowing in Canada, healthcare is a human right. She's 40 and has 2 kids. Jesus Christ, this is horrible. Oh my God. This is what, oh my God, I'm very, very sorry to hear this. Oh man. Should I block him for being such a bummer? Who is worse, teachers or cops, and why? Cops. The trauma that they do on a daily basis. The teachers do. I mean, teachers provide more of a function than the cops do. The possibility, everyone needs to learn how to read. Everyone needs to learn how to do math. The number of people who need to be safe from violent crime is quite low. It's not as common. It's this kind of argument like without the cops, everyone would be killing each other. It's like if you're in a place where it's concealed carry, you're not all killing each other, and you'd have private security. So I think they're much worse. But the teachers are usually worse on a personal level. Like cops, you could have a conversation with, especially when they're off duty. They're totally fine to talk to, most of them. But a teacher, oh my God, he's just. Do you think Sungbun will find its way to the West, or is it already here? Not in that kind of an official capacity, no. And if you don't know what he means, please do pick up Dear Reader. Would the system be better if cops were paid per service, like a fee similar to lawyers and doctors, instead of a paid sick salary? I can see it going either way, to be honest, because cops are very big on faking data and underreporting things and so on and so forth. So if there's an economic incentive to do that, I can see that happening as well. So it's a very tricky mix when you mix socialism and the profit motive. It often ends up being a real perversion. Do you play pool or snooker? No, I don't know what snooker is. Any cue sports? No. I'm a complete mess. I'm a spaz. Can you talk about your opinion on the spiritual side of things? No, I'm not ready to. In due time. I hate it when people run their mouths and they don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? I know you don't like suggestions, but this is more of a wish. I wish your debate with failed comedian Dave Smith could be hosted by Rogan. It's too niche. It's way too niche. I actually have a plan for Rogan, which I can't tell you guys yet, but if I pull this off, it's going to be really, 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 really epic. Andrew Yang, he's not ignorant. Andrew Yang is a very bright man. Andrew Yang got sat down and told what to say. It's ridiculous. No way. No. What is your karaoke song? What makes a good karaoke song? For a while, I did Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship, because it was the mannequin theme song. I stole it from Detox. And basically you sing, there's a male part and a female part. And when you sing one part, you go into mannequin pose for the female part. I don't like karaoke. I don't get it. It's like the Real Housewives. Like a lot of my friends think it's great. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't understand what you find appealing. I also really hate when people like, oh, let's go karaoke, and they're like really good singers, and I'm like, this is a very different. It's like when people who have like 50 followers tell me how to do Twitter. It's like, do you understand that just in terms of data? I'm not saying pulling rank. Your experience with 50 followers versus 150, it's going to be a very different experience. It's like all you can eat buffet versus appetizers at a dinner party. These are not the same experience. So I really hate those people. And I'm also someone who's really, really emotionally impressed by people who are good singers. Like, it really kind of gets me right in the feels. What do you think about Bashar Assad? Whatever Tulsi tells me. Didn't mean to bring down the mood so much. No, it's you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad you told me, but it's just heartbreaking, you know? Just, I don't need to tell you. Shout out to Bird, Car, Aaron, and Paz of TL Earth. I don't know what that is. Hey, Kiara. Okay, saw a midwit try and get you because you eat at Subway. Oh my God. He wasn't a midwit. So I specifically said I was at Subway because macros. And they're like, why'd you go to Real Deli? I wasn't at Subway because I like it. I was there because of the macros. I hate Subway. It's gross. But it's also very high calorie. And it's easy to keep track. Does it ever trigger you that you come on these streams with a plan and we bombard you with super chats? Do you not care because money? No, I like that everyone's bombarding me because this is the best way to have feedback from the audience and hear what they're interested in hearing about in terms of content. Instead of people who are just randomly flapping their gums at Twitter, if someone wants to drop $2, which is, you know, pocket change for many people, or maybe it's not for some people, be like, hey, I want to know your opinion about this. This tells me what is resonating with the audience. This is actually the best kind of feedback. I would think you guys would get more annoyed than me. What really I like at the troll in me, which is, you know, right there, is this way, is knowing when people watch it later, they're like, is he ever going to get to the Tim Pool Alex challenge? Like, that's what I like about it a lot. What did Tim tell you about the elves? This is so weird to me when I have like off-screen conversations with people and other people ask me about them. I'm not going to repeat stuff like that. What would happen in anarchist society if my private security is stronger than yours? Okay, what happens when Sprint is stronger than... okay, let's break this down. This is something that's so absurd that people need to think about it for a second. If my army has 60 people and your army has 50 people, I'm not winning. You need orders of magnitude higher to conquer somebody else. Number one. Number two is, why am I hiring or being a member of this security firm if it's waging war in my neighborhood? I don't want that. So the worst case scenario, you know what is not going to do? It's not going to mail my kids to the Middle East. What are you going to do if they shut down gyms again? I should block you for just throwing that out there. Nope. Do not. I do not mess with demons. I do not mess with demons. Is human life intrinsically valuable? No. This is, again, coming from a Russian, like, this is such a Western perspective that makes no sense to me. None. When shaving, do you puck lather or bowl lather? I do it in the thing, the tub. Sometimes I have a sample, then I'll put that in the bowl. Thanks for all the white pills. Hey, Charlie, help me make this year one of my best yet. Excited for what comes next. You have no idea. You have no idea. I have no idea. It's so good. It's so good. The way you handle Alex Jones is so great, and haven't seen that since the college professor in Kennedy. You don't like debating, but damn, you're good at it. Well, thanks, Wayne. I don't think that was a debate in the sense of like a formal debate. And I could certainly hold my own one-on-one. I'm pretty good rhetorically because of my, high verbal IQ, but that's just the genes. I think it's different because Alex respects me and the feeling is mutual. Alex knows I'm not his enemy. I'm not there to clown him. And it was very much talking about the issues and not being personal. And I think when that's the case, I think it's easy to have a good exchange of ideas. And I think Alex, and I can't speak for him, but I know Alex is not someone who's in general a fan of the government. So for him to, in any sense, have to be defending the state, that's not where he's 100% comfortable. I'm positive, that much I can say. Thank you. I really appreciate your content and gain a lot of perspective from you and your guests. Well, that is very nice, Gerber baby. Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning should be required reading every school. And dear reader, hope you escape New York in 2021. I will be, I can't say, somewhere in January, but that's because it's a surprise for the person. LA as soon as possible. Russia in July. I'm in Boston in 2 weeks. Yeah, and I found a secret place that plays music in New York. I'm going tomorrow night. Shh, I'll let you know if it actually happens. Oh, thank you. Will you ever interview Nick Land? That's not an impossibility at all. Third world climate change. Shithole money. Divert Midwood Mine to NCAP Credo at cocktail party. You guys are having too much fun, I think. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, this is becoming unmanageable. Is the U.S. government more evil or more incompetent? More evil. 100% more evil. We have the let's just stop to think about this. We have the largest per capita prison population. Now, a lot of these people should be in jail, but the ones who should be in jail are often you're serving how long are you serving for murder? 6 years? What is happening? So there have to be better alternatives than that. Even if we are more violent than other countries, that's off the top of my head. The war machine is another big one. So I think it's definitely that. Have Rubens or Woods host the debate? I guess it's not Soho material. Oh yeah, I mean, the Hamilton debate almost didn't happen because it was getting so annoying behind the scenes. I actually at one point. This is telling tales out of school. I had to tell Tom, I can't read any of these emails anymore. Either you handle this or I'm walking, because it got so insufferable. I'm so happy you think Subway's disgusting. My oldest daughter thinks it's great. I'm obviously a very failed parent. She just has daddy issues. Stay-at-home order for holidays in Eastern Canada. Discussion of travel blockade for anyone without a vaccine in the entire world for decades to Canada. Fuck. How do we keep from being resentful toward cops in society? I don't want to end up in the no mercy mentality of the cathedral. You are talking to the wrong person. This is team no mercy. I'm team sadism. Are you mercy? Kidding, I want to show them their bones. My Ukrainians shouted out in a thick accent, vaccines are poison in the middle of the work meeting. I love these people. It'll be fun for me to meet them in July and see what it's going to be like back in the motherland with my friend Apollo. Where can I find your 5-star, 4-star book list / recommendation? Goodreads.com. GOODREADS.com. And you can search my name. Thank you again, Kiara. Keating, eh? Watching Alex become the most uncomfortable person in the room was gold, Jerry Gold. I'm glad you liked it. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for me to lose my cool. Because, I mean, this Siberian blood runs cold. But it got there. Because I kept having to reboot. And I thought this is obviously an extremely important issue. Same thing happened to Slosher's cousin, happened to my girlfriend's mom. How long until secession becomes a common phrase in discourse? BuzzFeed's talking about it. It's happened. It's already there. Okay, hold on. Pleb question. Is there a red pill term for when someone shuts down an argument with labeling the opposing view? That's a great question. I don't know if there's a term for that. It's intellectually it's just a tactic they use. I discussed this tactic in my book. That's a great question. There should be a term for that, isn't there? I don't think there is, to my knowledge. Would you debate Ben Shapiro on the morality of conservatism in Tin Pool? Listening to your podcast made me realize I'm not the one who's crazy for questioning authority. It's people around me. Thank you for that. Thank you, Max. I don't think Ben would be up for it at all. I wouldn't debate him. I'd be glad to have a discussion with him. I think it would be mutually respectful. I think we'd have fun being kind of verbally agile with each other. But Ben kind of doesn't acknowledge me. He has no obligation to acknowledge me in any way. I might not be big enough to be on his radar. I don't take it personally, or there's plenty of people who I don't know who they are. People like, you don't know this person, and I don't. So I don't know that would be on Tim Pool, but yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think Ben's is like 3 years behind me on many issues. It's really kind of funny. Enjoy your show and the education. Found my red pill. Why do all these dudes have a girl avatar? I don't understand. Any white pill or thoughts about Hong Kong? Oh God, no. I don't want to talk about it. I'm very, 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 very concerned. I've heard you say one beer shouldn't have stolen the poster. When you say North Korea is safer than here, but the camera's so blurry, do you think it's possible he wasn't actually the person in that video? No. I do not think it's okay. It's possible theoretically. I don't think North Korea kidnaps people without they did it from Japan, but they didn't publicly do it without having an ostensible reason because they're using him as a hostage. And I've been in that hotel. I think he stayed in the same room as me, so it's theoretically possible. But I don't think that they would have targeted him for no reason, especially because they're going to screw up things with the tourist company, which gives them money. How much of the left's bad behavior is due to cultural hegemony versus their internal philosophy? Ooh, that's a great question. I think the internal philosophy of much of the left is fundamentally sound. And if you sat down and talked to most right-wing people and steelman it, they would be like, okay, I don't agree with this, but this is reasonable. I mean, there's so much of boomer con thinking is just digging in their heels, but you're like, just let's look at it from like a kind of a sympathetic point of view, and you lay it out there like, all right, this really isn't that bad. I think it's due to the cathedral training them to behave in these fashions. So I think that's the answer. It's through the system, which I don't know either of those two choices. So I'm doing fill in the blank, which I don't like to do, but I think you were being sincere in your question. Can you share your take on Tulsi and gun policy? Thank you for the positive impact you've had on my thinking. Sure. I think Tulsi shot a cop on national television, and that's kind of a gun policy. That's the only gun policy that kind of trumps everything else. Love seeing your naked and famous finds. Are you a shoe guy at all, or mainly jeans? I'm not a shoe guy. I have a decent shoe collection. Someone might have been in steel fur boots today. I've got like some cool shoes, but I'm not a shoe person. I think shoe people really get out of control. I have let me tell you how many I have. You're going to laugh. It's like 25 pairs. But if you think about it, I have to have sneakers, I have to have dress shoes for work, winter boots, so it sounds like more than it is. Thoughts on Stern and his egoism versus Rand. I have a first edition of Ego and His Own from 1845, I think. I think he's great to read when you're young. I don't think he's politically coherent. That's okay. You read him for the energy. They're very different in how they approach egoism. And I think this kind of fuck you up yours. He's very punk rock in his egoism. And that's something I certainly am a fan of. Oh, geez. I'm never going to get to this. Let's make this a troll show and never talk about Tim and Alex. I really want to see if we can make that happen. Oh, this is beautiful. I shouldn't have said that out loud. Okay. I know you're not into debate, but it'd be cool to have a longer conversation between Mr. Yarvin and yourself about monarchy versus anarchism. I think we would be on the same page. Or like we would concede. We would both regard each other's position as reasonable, I think, and Venn diagram it in terms of the pluses and minuses, I think. How is the refusal to wear masks against COVID different from refusing to adhere to FAA guidelines? Well, first of all, the masks are everywhere. FAA is getting on a plane. And I think the FAA guidelines are a joke and security theater. And I believe in privatizing the FAA and having private security figure out what works instead of putting on the spectacle for suburban moms. Aside from politics, what issues do you think are important we deal with. I don't know who you mean by we. I don't know who you mean by we. I don't like. I despise. I'm being pedantic, but I don't think incorrectly here or unfairly here. I despise telling other people what should be important to them. There are things that I find of value. Hopefully, other people find it of value. I think thriving as a whole is something that is of value to everyone, foundationally and definitionally. But I don't. There's a lot of people who don't care about North Korea. That's their prerogative. I don't blame them. There's nothing they can do. So it's like, why should I care? It's only going to get me depressed. Yeah. What should we be paying attention to in the next month in 2021? What should the trolls focus their efforts on in the future to be most effective? Let me do my job. You don't need to be an army. What you should focus your efforts on is self-improvement, thriving, being a good example for people, being a good friend, seeking your own path, and seeking your own happiness. And that attracts people far more than any kind of thing. I don't have shit to say. Love the show. Guess there's that. The man's search for meaning comment was dead on. State-run schools suck. Agreed. Heard in a podcast that Trump is actually considering a pardon for Russ Ulbricht. Albright. Thoughts or insights? I have no inside information on this. I am in favor of it. The big three are him, Snowden, and Assange. So hopefully that'll happen. I have Cassandra Fairbanks, who's close with Assange, coming on the show in 2 weeks. So that'll be a fun conversation. Thanks for everything, especially happy mentions of Ayn Rand, eBay, and Punk. Much appreciated from Wyoming. Excited to see where this all goes. First super chat ever. Well, hello from a fellow Asian. I posted the evil versus incompetent question in the in Red and Gold subreddit, and the poll resulted in favor of incompetent. That's pathetic. If the government was just incompetent, we'd be able to defeat it overnight, and they wouldn't. That it's I don't see it. Thanks for sparking so much thought on long drives versus your podcast. That's the opposite of what I'm going for. I was trying to spark car crashes. Okay. Napoleon Hill. Yes, or I don't know. I don't know what that is. Love you and thank you for being Alex Jones's translator. Yeah, I'm the Alex Whisperer. Terrified, but this time next year will be divided between vaxxed and unvaxxed. Will the unvaxxed have to wear an armband? I think that's where this is going, and I do not intend to get vaccinated, if I can help it. Towards speakeasy fun, glow necklace, or acid tabs, whatever the kids do these days. I think they do each other. Just putting some facts out there. The boiling point for tar is 572 degrees Fahrenheit, and a half pound of feathers from Walmart costs $19. Well played, Nathan. Would you have Tim Dillon on your show? In a heartbeat. Tim, I've mentioned this many times. For some reason, Tim unfollowed me, even though we texted before. I don't know why. I'm not taking it personal. I think he's terrific. I don't mind Tim, although I wish he would let his guests talk more. It's sort of like guest bullying. I didn't perceive it that way at all. In all fairness, goddamn super chats. Want to know your thoughts on COVID in North Korea? Oh God, I'm really concerned. Like they had polio come back in the 90s. Like they're having TB. I think it's awful, and they're so intent on not accepting outside help. Although I think that is mitigated a bit in the Kim Jong-un era. So hopefully they won't be as if they frame it as a worldwide calamity, maybe it won't be shameful to accept help. So my heart breaks for those people every single day. Is crypto the savior everyone thinks it is, or another control mechanism? I can't talk about crypto really that much. I discussed it in my book. The Bitcoin people, I didn't realize how insufferable they are. So as a rule, I'm going to try to do what I can to avoid having them swarm around me. I don't Twitter. I now have a dedicated tab open just for your page, and I look at it every day. You bring optimism, energy, fun, and aggression. Yes, that's the one I've not felt in politics in a while. You're my person of the year. Well, thank you, meme man. That's very sweet. I'm a modern-day Greta Thunberg. Okay, guys, I don't know what to do. Okay, hold on. Fuck. Snowden, Assange, Ulbricht, who do you think it would get pardoned first and why? I think they'd get pardoned at the same time, but in terms of who's most likely, I think it would clearly be Assange of those three. It would be easiest for Trump to pull off. Your outlook on North Korea was amazing. I hope you have taken interest in the CCP and China. Your voice is new in the subject. Nope. I do not have time. The next book's going to be about the white pill, and then it's going to be another American book, and then it's going to be about the elves. Is there more than a 10% chance Trump wins again in 2024? I do not think there's any real chance he's going to run again at all. I envision any civil war being more like Northern Ireland conflicts rather than 1865 America. What do you think? I don't see it. I don't see the civil war being likely in the slightest. I think this is just something that is being threatened. Czechoslovakia split up. There's no need for a civil war at all. I think it'll be mutually agreeable secession. Hey, Michael, is this person dumb or malicious? Again with these sunglasses. A researcher said that cloth masks aren't very effective indoors or in crowds. The headline was cloth masks work outdoors and away from crowds. They're not dumb. They're I don't know. It's hard to describe motive. In this case, this might be someone who's just dumb. Like if I had to put money, I'd guess dumb. I was watching the girl who escaped North Korea. It was interesting. She said the fist is closer than the cops. Ooh, apparently there's a lot of violence in North Korea. I found it very, very appealing to hear that fascism doesn't equal order. That's the other thing that like the Austrian economics points out all the time. Mussolini didn't actually make the trains run in time. They were a calamity. It's a complete myth. That's why Rand hated, I think, if I'm quoting her correctly, hated 1984, because it's like it wouldn't be this technologically advanced country if it was all like a Stalinism. They'd be all starving. You often speak about the immense depravity of those in power and how most of us underestimate it. I agree. In short, how did you come to that understanding? Well, I think having a Soviet background and knowing about the Soviet Union really informed that thinking. And you'll see in my next book, you'll learn also where I'm coming from, and you'll be shocked because I'm doing the research and I'm shocked. Michael, I've become very sad at coming to the conclusion it's time to fight it out. Any hope for a black pill dude? Why are you sad? Fighting it out is being a man. And I don't mean like in a boorish way. I mean, fight for your value. Like there was a great moment on Rand on Donahue where she's attacking feminism. It's such a great moment. She's attacking feminism. And he goes, what do you want women to do? You know, just stay at home, be good moms? And she goes, no, go in any field and fight for their job like every man has to fight for his career. And he goes, would you fight for anything? And she goes, how did I get here? And the audience bursts out laughing, and Donahue really just shakes his head at himself. So yeah, you should absolutely fight for your values. Is Carrie Smith on your radar? No, she's not. Looking forward to your next book. 90% of people in my work life are deeply blue-pilled or rabid social justice warrior. I'm getting rather demoralized and isolated. Yeah, please come join my locals, because that's exactly for people like you. It's free to join, because I think there's lots of people who are in this position. I was in this position a lot when I was in my mid to late 20s, and there wasn't the internet really, and there wasn't spaces to find people who thought like me, and it was very, very bleak. But now there's lots of people who are like us, so please come join us and realize that they're not. It's like going in the forest and being complained there's a lot of trees. You can't expect the trees not to be trees. It's your job to find the other people in this forest. Best JRE episode ever. Peter Schiff, Michael Malice, Lex Friedman. You spelled only Peter's name correctly, but that's cool. My understanding is Peter is not very jovial. He doesn't roll with the punches with the jokes, so it might be a little awkward. Missed your tangled earbuds driving people nuts. Yeah, it's like I don't ever make my bed. I don't understand the point. And I don't understand the point of untangling earbuds if it's just for functionality. I don't get it. Apologize if you've shown this already, but do you still have Alex Jones tinfoil hat? I do. I was thinking of putting it on eBay or giving it to someone for like some money to raise for charity. What the Yes, this is a Navy SEAL copy pasta. Good job, Shane. Did you see Moldbug ever going to an interview with Rogan or Tim Pool? Would you try to make that happen? I can see it happening. It's not. I can't talk about like who I'm trying to get where because I think that is not kosher. Fuck, Mary, kill Alex Jones, Tim Pool, or Luke Rutkowski. Oh God. Okay, let's do it backwards. Who would I want to marry? I'd have to marry Tim. Tim would be the best wife of those three. And who am I fucking? Alex. Yeah, you're gonna fuck the gorilla. It's up to the gorilla. You don't have a choice. So yeah, that's sorry, Luke. Okay. I'm never gonna get to my thoughts. This is hilarious. What marine animal confounded you the most when you learned about it? Okay, I don't know if this is it's a softball question because you might know the answer. The zebra octopus or the mimic octopus or the wonderpuss, there's like 3 species. They mimic different other species. They mimic a lionfish, flounder, mantis shrimp, all these other things. You can look them up on YouTube. And what's fascinating about them is it because octopi or octopuses, both are correct, are have enough intelligence, they're like a cat level of intelligence. Is it consciously thinking I'm trying to look like a flounder, or has it just evolved to just do this and therefore it's that shape is serving a purpose? That is something the epistemology of the octopus is something that's very interesting. Is the NPC meme still the most impressive meme? It's got to be up there. Top 3, I don't. Top 3, I don't know. I got a lot of these chats to get through. Hold on. You get one question, kid. If I shot Governor Cuomo and you were on the jury, would you convict? Well, there's only one way to find out. If you want to troll Bitcoin people, don't mention Ethereum and mention BSV and that Craig is the real Satoshi. Thank me later. Okay. There's another. Some of your guys' pictures are really, really funny. Your picture is like, girl, yeah, I see him right now. He's across the street. Yeah, he don't see me. He see me. There's another component to the evil versus incompetent dynamic, neuroticism. Most politicians drink their own Kool-Aid and arbitrarily impose their vision based on neurotic compulsion. Camille Paglia has said the universities are basically institutionalized neuroticism, and I don't think she's far off at all. Because if you watch a lot of these histrionics, not only they're histrionics, there's also histrionics with the caveat that it is incumbent on you to do something about my freak out. And it's just like, that's not accurate. What's a movie you've enjoyed this year? I'm not a movie guy at all. I can't think of the last movie I saw. Was Death of Stalin this year? I think that was last year. A Vice co-founder once said, lock 2 people together at the computer, they'll be forced to come in agreement on anything. I don't think that's true at all. Bitcoin blue pill? I don't know what you mean. Becon blue pill. I don't know what that means. BoomerCon blue pill. I don't know that's a blue pill. I just think that's inaccurate. Gavin said that, really? Doesn't sound like him. Thanks for being such a great voice of the Liberty Movement. You've inspired me greatly. Are there any books you'd recommend for trolling? I can't think of any at all. No. Read the Andy Kaufman biography by Bob Zmuda. That's the one. That's it. That's the one. How much is Alex right? Alex is right way more than people realize. Even if he's like a little like the puzzle pieces are missing, they're all mixed up. They're all there. So a lot. Why do people respect the opinion of those with the microphone? You're the one paying me. I don't know, stupid. I often think of it as how a 14-year-old me thought about his teachers. Looking back on it, many of these are incompetence. Yes, you're trained that these people are knowledgeable, and you sit down and shut up and you obey them. They're televangelists. What are you going to do? Think for yourself? You don't have the capacity for that. They're the professionals. Should you take one white pill, not the whole bottle? Andrew, you should take the whole bottle of everything. Mr. Malice, would you consider going on the Andy Stumps podcast? I don't know who that is. No disrespect to him. Rumors of Trump creating a new TV network are credible. How much would it increase political division? I don't think it would. I think it would be very self-marginalizing in many ways. What are your thoughts on Orwell? I am obviously a very big fan. He's another. This is what's funny. Like sometimes it's funny when people argue with me about terms that I've popularized. Like I don't understand what they do. It's like if your understanding of your term, think of a new term because this is what the term means because I'm the one popularized it. Orwell is the prime example of a red-pilled leftist. He's a socialist. He's also as red-pilled as it gets, and he's indispensable. Oh my God, this is a marathon. Thank you, Michael. Oh, I like that picture. What's the biggest difference between having the randoms try to clown you and having the blue checks try to clown you for your tweets? The randoms usually have the same verbiage. The blue checks are really, really bad at it, and they all invariably just come off as so pompous and amateurish that you sit there, you're like, I can't believe you thought this was an own. Like, is this your first day on the internet? It's really bad. First sunglasses are from when I was 19, not a boomer con. Yeah, you are. Have you read the NRA piece on Dr. Biden? It's by Kyle Smith, who is someone I'm acquaintances with. I have not read it. Michael, what are your feelings toward the Free State Project, and would you ever come speak at PorcFest? Yes, I have spoken at PorcFest already. I am a huge fan of the Free State Project, of course. I think they do terrific work, and I would probably come speak at PorcFest again, although the schedule is not looking nice. I appreciate everything you've done, the great people turn me on to. Having close friends and family in law enforcement makes hearing the all cops are criminal thing feel very discordant. Here's a point I'll make to you, and this is something that's indisputable. Okay? You and I, think of all your friends, everyone you know. You and I have no idea what they're like at work. None. You might have a friend who's kind of a bitch, and she's like docile at work, or she could be a bitch at work, or it could be the other way around. We have no idea. They're under different pressures at work. It could be someone who is kind because they're off the clock, and then it's like someone who's like beats their kids. They don't go in the office all aggressive. They look calm. They're normal, and then they secretly do horrible things. So that's one. Two is same thing with the bedroom. You have no idea what your family and friends are like in the bedroom. I mean, you wouldn't even know where to start. So different people act differently in different circumstances, and we have no idea what they're like. Now, I'm not saying your family and friends are asshole cops. They could be very nice cops, but all I'm saying is you have no idea what they're like in the job. And they'll tell you it's a very different. They can't be the same around you as they are around thugs and criminals. That's not their fault. Have you seen the Andrew Schultz Netflix special? I have not. Andrew and I were texting and do each other's shows for a while there when Corona started. I'm 32. Oh, God. My mom had heart failure at the start of COVID, coma, awoke but died of COVID, and for 30 days we were not allowed to even see her. I'm very, very, very sorry to hear that. It's awful. Since COVID was in U.S. Europe from November to March without anyone noticing, and total death rates in almost all countries are within 5-year average, would this have been a big deal without media hype? Yes, I think it would have been a big deal. Not as big a deal, but if you're having 3,000 people dying a day, it's going to be a big deal, especially when it's targeting populations like elderly people. It's going to be an issue. Hey, man, what are your thoughts on the Tim Pool Alex Jones show? No one wants to hear about that. It's boring. It has ruined my life. Oh, my God, dude, this is so bad. I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea what to tell you. Don't let it ruin your life. That's not what she wants. That's what she wants. She wouldn't want you to not thrive because she's not here. I'm sure she would want you to live your life to the fullest. Come on. Don't remember her by the last month. Remember her by the rest of her life. That's what matters, right? I mean, think about it. When you die, you have your talking to your friends. Do you want them to remember you at your worst when you're dying, or do you want to remember the good times and the fun memories? So think about it in those terms. Just my 2 cents. Oh my God. Okay. Keep fighting the good fight. Love the content. You're an inspiration. That's a lie. Thoughts on Lysander Spoon him? I mention him constantly. Yes, I'm a big fan. Although his case for jury nullification, I think, is very weak, because I think jury nullification can be used in very nefarious ways as well. I would love to see a long discussion with you and Tim about anarchism. He's coming around. He's coming around. If you watch him talking recently, I'm not saying I'm going to make an anarchist of him, but I think he's understanding, okay, this isn't just nonsense. If humans have no intrinsic value, what do they have? Do they only have the ability to create value for others, or is there something I'm missing? I don't think value is inherent, intrinsic, excuse me. There's plenty of people who I value and that you value. Hold on. For example, right now, as I was doing this stream, some people died somewhere in the world. Now, you and I, it's a shame. If we had our druthers, they wouldn't be dead. But in what sense can they have any value for us? It's not really a thing. So that's an example of what I mean. And there's plenty of people who bring nothing to the table. And that's a lot of them. Then it becomes, okay, you're thinking like a Nazi. Look, if something has no value, doesn't mean you want to destroy it. And that something has value to other people. What are your thoughts on the very failed podcaster Thomas E. Woods Jr.? Just wait till you see this cartoon. We did such a good job with it. And Tom was such a good sport. Such a good sport. This is the side of Tom you're not going to see often. What is something you enjoy that might surprise us? Avril Lavigne. Is it weird I find Atlas Shrugged more nonfiction than Orwell 1984? No, not at all, because it takes place in America, and the villains are in the newspapers almost verbatim. Super Chat Night. Does anyone know where the Volleyball Hall of Fame is? What? What is going on with you people? You're looking fine tonight. Thanks for this, Dr. Menace. You are welcome. I have completely shaken off my government school training. You ended 20 years of their life work with some tweets and live streams. We will win because it's asymmetry. Generation Z, by the way. Yeah, that's the thing. Here's the big asymmetry. If you have a friend who lies to you once, it's not going to take one truthful statement to compensate for that. Lying about something serious. So it's the same thing. When you realize, oh, you've been lying this whole time, it collapses in your mind. It's like, wait a minute, I can't trust these people at all. Hey, Michael, I thoroughly enjoyed the new write. Okay. Do you have a button-down shirt? Don't do those. And I'm looking forward to your next book. What brought you the most hope in 2020? And what are you looking most forward to in 2021? The most hope, I don't know that there was one thing. I think I had so many great things happen this year, despite it being what it was. So I can't pin it down. I'm looking forward to finishing the book next year and having it out there. I think what brought me the most hope is how many people, and this is going to sound corny, but it's not. My nephew is a big one. My other one's 3 months, so it doesn't really count. Watching him become a little person, but also how many people I've talked to who are like, "Oh, we're gonna win," like, and when I give them why I think this, and they're like, "Oh, this makes perfect sense," that gives me the most hope. When I see people who are receptive to what I lay out as the possibility of victory, not the certainty, but if there is even a 15% chance of victory, that's all you need. It's like, all right, yeah, maybe the odds are against me, but I got a decent shot and I'm going out and fighting. It's like trying to date a hot chick. Maybe there's a 15% chance that she's going to go out with you, but those are good odds. That's a good chance. You got to roll those dice. Does Rogan text you or his assistant text you? I DM with him. For $1,000, I will explain my thoughts on the Alex Jones Dim Fool podcast. Love the chaos you created with your tweet comparing Jews in 1930s Germany and COVID. Why did it go over so many people's heads? Instant identifier of blue pill losers. Because they do not listen to language literally. And let me give you an example. So my tweet, for those who don't know, I tweeted out, if you replace the word COVID with Jews, suddenly the behavior of the 1930s German population becomes eerily similar, something like that. The point being, one of the big questions everyone has is, how did Nazism happen? This is something that's discussed endlessly. It's a very important issue, because it's like, okay, where were the breaks, and how to make sure those breaks happen so there isn't genocide or even just persecution of population. And what we saw is how eager people were to become enforcers of what they regard as an infection. So all the Nazis had to do was, and this wasn't a small thing, you convince the people that the Jews are the infection, and everything else is it's just dominoes. For them, how they hear it, it's like if I said to you, I use this example on Twitter, I like, not ironically, not joking, I promise I will never call your mom a slut. Like, in your head, it's like, why is the word mom next to the word slut in this? It doesn't feel nice when they're close together in this sentence. So for them, it's like you're having the word Jews and the word virus. It's like, what are you saying here? And that's how they perceive language. It's very, very hard to understand things from that kind of perspective, but it's very important because a lot of people receive language that way. Are you familiar with Charlie LaDuff? I am not at all. I'm hoping you're right about secession. I'm in a leftist area. They want subordination, revenge. It feels like they'll never let us go. They want a lot of things. They wanted the Green New Deal. They wanted Medicare for all. They wanted war in Syria. What are your thoughts on George Clooney asking the government for a bailout to the movie theaters? I have no interest. I don't care. Public schooling made me an anarchist. Yeah, many such cases. Knock, knock. Who's there? Michael Malice has a large phallus. Thanks for bringing your real anarchist arguments to my philosophical ideas. You are very, very welcome. Are we just spamming the super chat so you don't talk about Tim/Jones podcast? It looks like it. You guys did a great job for the people watching this later. How much to read Obama's new book? Oh, it's too long. I'm not going to do it. I don't have time. Does it bother you that large amounts of Antifa call themselves anarchists? No, they are anarchists. They have more of a right to call themselves anarchists than people like I do. So they absolutely have a title. They're coming out of the Emma Goldman School. Have you read Aeon by Carl Jung? I have not. This is the most, I don't know what to do in the future. If this is going to be this many I don't know how to handle this. Thoughts on the concentration of the Uyghur Muslims? What do you think I think? Come on. Is this how genocides begin? No, I don't think we're at the genocide point, but it's an abomination. Of course, that's the other thing with that Jewish tweet. It's like, there's only one person in this whole exchange who's done something to try to fight the concentration camps, North Korea. That's me. Ain't you. Mr. Butthurt over a tweet. Considering your Russian upbringing, is New Year better than Christmas? No, Christmas in New York is something very, very magical and special, and I hope it snows, and it's really going to be fun. I ordered Fordite. Here's one. So for those who don't know, from Foothill Antiques, after your plug on the pool party, I think it was nice of you to plug his work. So this is Fordite. So what it's made of is, like, a car plant will have layers of paint, and the layer after layer it makes a mineral, and you can make pens of it. This is from, I think, a Ferrari company plant, and it looks really, really cool. So if you go to Foothills Antiques on Instagram, he's not a sponsor or anything. The guy does great work. He may have made me a razor out of a whale tooth. And here's another one. The shapes and colors are really, really cool. Great gifts for someone because it's just weird enough to be hipster, but not too weird that a corporate person couldn't handle it. So look at that. This is another one. Let me see if I get the camera to focus. You can't get it. Yeah, there you go. Is that cool? Very Ayn Rand. Detroit agate, they also call it. And he makes amazing knives, too. I don't understand how this is difficult. Broken chain of custody, period. Oh, God, Eric, you're so blue-pilled. Well, if you say period... That's a girlish. Only girls end arguments with their period. Are you a girl, Eric? Maybe you're a girl, which is the worst thing for a guy to be, a girl. Thoughts on Kyle Kalinske and David Pakman? They seem equivalent to Shapiro and Rubin on the left. I'm not. I know the names, but I have not followed either of their work. I once had a math teacher tell how she was nearly bankrupted by a car loan because she couldn't calculate the payments correctly. I got a C and she held me back. Apparently they could just do that. I'm thinking there's more to this story. This is my 2 cents. Oh, how dare you? That's Russian binary. How dare you? Dare you? I've got three looks planned for Lex. If I get invited back 3 more times. Are NPCs born or made in schools? I don't know. I've had this argument a lot. Whether they're like have a disability. They're certainly trained to be them, but I don't know. I think they're born. What I should say to the idiots who text me about the Georgia Senate runoff race. I don't know. It's not really fun. They're not going to care. How do you keep from screaming "shut up" whenever Ian opens his idiot yap? Ian's a good dude. Be nice. What is the thing they won't let you do that would convince you to get the vaccine to do it? Like getting on a plane would be a good example. Like if it's like you have to get on a plane, then yeah, I'd have to do it. I finished a new Right not even 2 hours ago. Incredible job researching it. Can you recommend similar books on the far right? No. If there were similar books, I wouldn't have written it. Why'd you have to go and make things so... She's got some good songs. No shame. Elitist strategy, $10 minute to read first 20, etc. F the pauper plebs. Oh, God. Okay. I've only got 15 more minutes. We're not getting to the Tim and Alex. This is really funny. Does anyone know the COVID damage? Or the COVID damage has on the Kurds? Or what about the Greeks? Remember, they were going to be bankrupt, and then they voted in like a communist government, and then we don't talk about the Greeks. What happened there, huh? Remember that? I remember. Okay, are we caught up? No, we're not. Should I give up on my otherwise very intelligent friends who are leftist, blue-pilled, and arrogant and just keep trolling online? Yes, your friends aren't there to agree with you. This is something that drives me crazy on Twitter and social media. If you agree with me, we are not friends. I only care how you treat people and me. It is of no value to me that you agree with me, nor is it a concern if you disagree with me. Many of my friends disagree with me. Why would I care? If they listen to different music than me, or they vote for someone then I don't vote, this is of no relevance to, hey, I'm having a bad time. Can we hang out? It's this kind of team mentality is something I'm so opposed, and it's such a horrible lefty thing. You can set a $15 minimum for super chats you will read to slow down how many you're getting. Oh, I wonder what that would be in your shithole currency. Show suggestion. Legend of the Galactic Hero, space opera anime with... This is horrible. Anime? Fuck out of here. Did you ever end up getting farther in Legend of Zelda Windwalker? I watched the whole thing, and now I'm watching Breath of the Wild, or Breath of the... Whatever it's Breath of the Wind, whatever it's called. Breath of the Wild, yeah. Okay. Are we almost... Do you consider yourself special because you managed to get Robot Lex out of his binary calculations and listening to your stream? I consider myself blessed. What is the... You'd have to ask Lex that. How do I explain to blue-pilled people that government violence against non-violent people is justified? You can't. Don't you fucking get it? Blue-pilled people take their instructions from the TV. There's nothing you can say that will get them to listen to you. You have to get them red-pilled first, in my opinion. Lex Friedman, best scientific podcast out there. He's not joking around. What are your favorite raw/salvage denim brands? Well, Naked and Famous, obviously. Samurai. Not Samurai, excuse me. Capital. Studio d'Artisan. Those are the three. Sugarcane. Fuck, Marry, Kill. Coco the Gorilla, Harambe, or Alex Jones. Well, oh, okay. Would I rather marry? No, I marry Coco. I don't have to have sex with her. Wait, no. Who am I having? Would I rather have sex with the female gorilla or with the man? No, fuck Alex and then kill Harambe. You were hung on my period. You didn't finish reading. I got Sargon pissed off earlier by saying irregardless. Okay. I just meant save my breath, not cut them off as friends. Yes, save your breath. They're not there for that for you. You're wasting your time and you're making yourself frustrated. You asked me, that's my opinion. Why do lefties hate Moldbug? Because they've been trained to hate him. Here's another example. They call Alex Jones racist. It's just one of they have a cornucopia of words that throw out. Alex never talks about race. So even if he were this racist, he's not promoting racism. He doesn't talk about it. They just throw it at you, all these things together. Thoughts on Cantwell's most recent conviction? I did not know about this. Oh, wow. Maria Cantwell comes up, the senator. I did not know about this, Christopher. Oh, that was September. Okay. I'll look this up later. Oh, that's okay. Breath of the Wild. Is this about Pocahontas and her tribe? It's about farts. You see the popular front Euro 3D printed gun vid? I did not, but obviously I'm a big supporter of that. Avril is great. You get a true freedom when you stop having guilty pleasures and just enjoy the things you enjoy. This is something I fight people constantly. If people give you crap for things that bring you happiness, get rid of them. Defu. Your friend, terrible food, terrible music, terrible shows. If it makes your life better and it brings you joy, go for it. Why kill Harambe twice? Good luck, man. Do you think there will be secession in the U.S. in the near future? What about a second civil war? I started this whole movement in 2016 with my article. The fact that this is now becoming mainstreamed on the right in 4 years, I don't know what's happening in the next 4, but it's going to be glorious. I don't think it would be a war. I don't see it. Okay, I'm caught up. It's a Christmas miracle. Hold on. Okay. Whew. Okay, let's talk a bit about let's talk a bit about Tim and Alex for the next 10 minutes. Oh my god, this is so funny. This is so funny. I don't even know what I was going to talk about with about the two of them. What did I want to say? Alex, okay, I'll give you some behind the scenes stuff. First of all, Tim is a lot more jovial and funny and upbeat than you realize. I haven't been watching Timcast. I don't watch podcasts really. And people on my locals were saying that Tim's all black-pilled, Tim's all black-pilled, Tim's all black-pilled. He called me to do his show when I had the propeller beanie. Thank you, Jose, for making that. And I go there, and I was ready to come in swinging. And he was upbeat and cracking jokes. And I'm like, oh, you're not. He's like, no, I'm not. No. He's like sees dark things ahead, but he personally is thriving. So that's number one. Alex Jones is more Alex Jones than you would think. Like, he really is that all the time. He's on. He's high energy. He's not like Jeb. And it's really kind of funny. So my mentor, Harvey Pekar, and some other people I know, Harvey was someone who was very much a victim of his demons and understood them. And Alex isn't as extreme as that. But if you watch the second episode, he kept interrupting and trying to finish my sentences, but he also kept catching himself and apologizing. So he couldn't help himself, and he's aware it was a problem, and he wasn't trying to be disrespectful. And I thought that was kind of interesting that he's like, all right, I'm doing the wrong thing, but I can't help myself. This kind of impulse control thing. So I thought that was kind of interesting about Alex. If you ever come down to South Florida, I would really like to take you out for your birthday. I will be in Mother Russia on my birthday. So, most admired person from the 20th century. Is it? Who is it? Is it Thatcher? I don't think it's her. I don't know. It could be her. Goldwater's a big one. Who's the most admired person? I'd have to give this one some thought, because that's a big period. That's a big period. I don't know. Fuck, marry, kill. Ugh, Soros, Gates, Bezos. Well, you got to marry Bezos, right? And then you Soros, because you can get rough. He can't do anything about it. If you ever come to Canada, I do not want to take you out for your birthday because we're not friends. Good. It won't happen. It won't never not happen. I'm a strict constitutionalist. Being a constitutionalist means being blue-pilled. That's absolutely why. And a girl, okay. Being a constitutionalist is the definition of being blue-pilled. It means believing that the system can be made to work. It pleases me that I think my question caused a question storm. As a troll, I think you did the right thing. Thank you very much, Eliza. What's the best book you've read this year? If you look at my Goodreads, you can. I just finished the Warhol biography, which was 1,000 pages, was superb. I'd have to look through my Goodreads, but there's only very few of them that got 5 stars. So that would be my answer to that. Hold on a second. It's hard getting the calories in. I'm not going to lie. I've started eating more like an American, which isn't easy to do. These streams and podcasts bring me joy. Thank you. Is it bad that I miss Nightshade? I don't blame you, but it's really great for me to have more spare time to produce. And the thing is, it's been so glacial. I'm writing right now about Reagan. This is his first autobiography, and his rise. So I'm having fun with it. Dude, your Megan Rapinoe face swap thing was the first thing I ever saw of yours, and it makes me laugh every day as much as the first time. Well, good. That makes me happy that. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Okay, I'm going to. We pulled it off. I'm going to bounce in another 7 minutes, and we did a live stream without any talk really of Tim and Alex. What's the best book about the philosophical origins of evangelical left? So there's a book I recently just read called The War for Righteousness. The best book about that is going to be one that I write in a couple of books. I got my scuba diving lesson after hearing you and Joe talk about sea creatures on your first episode with him. Merry Christmas. Well, sounds like you're the one having a Merry Christmas. So that's awesome to hear about. Remember, when you feel the rapture of the deep and the depth is calling you, listen to that voice and just keep going down, because that's where God is. Is the new book going to be self-published? 1,000%. I am not going to waste time dealing with mainstream publishers ever again. No point. It's going to be twice the time for half the money. It doesn't make sense. Instead of pursuit of happiness, it should have been property. It wouldn't have mattered. Fuck, marry, kill. Cops, and cops. Well, that's. I thought, where's the rest of JFK's biography? No. Good times. A wise man once said, "We're born knowing that life is a magical adventure and takes them years to train us to believe otherwise." That is absolutely correct. Where to start to learn about Goldwater? Is there? I've got like 5 books about him. I don't know which is the best one. I would say The Agony of the GOP 1964 by Robert Novak. It might be hard to find. Let me see. Is it hard to find? Let's find out. Let's check it out. And there, Stephen Shadegg, Shadegg, was his campaign manager. Also, he wrote one. Yeah, The Agony of the GOP, 1964. Careful, there's only 30 copies left online, so you'll have to scoop those up. And they're cheap. They're like $10, under $10. What Rothbard have you read? I read Anatomy of the State, The Progressive Era, and then his memoir of the right. I forgot what it was called. Porden Jeterson. Hey, Porden. How exciting is it going to be if I sit down with Jordan? Like, wouldn't you guys love that? If I was, let's suppose, dressed like a certain character. Will you find the new book at www.wrongaboutblackpill.com? Not too shabby. What was your major in college? Business administration. I decided to get, smartly, the most lucrative major, because that's why I was in college, to get a credential. Did you end up picking a bookcase? So on my locals, I asked for a cool bookshelf, and no one could really find a really cool one, so I haven't gotten one yet. I was going to get one for Restoration Hardware that was like airplane, but it didn't look right. Starving the Monkeys. I don't know what that means. Get Stephen Kinzer on. I love his book, Spain-U.S. War. I don't think that's going to happen. No offense to Stephen. Why are the Japanese so far ahead in fashion? Because they took our ideas and just extrapolated them. Thank you. I think you're the one who makes those videos. Hey, kid. Have you read Rothbard's letter to Ayn Rand? It's like a love confession, a must read. Yeah, their relationship was really weird. Really, really weird. Ocellaris operculus. Oh, my God. What kind of basic bitch question is this? This is just trash. Why are you having salt water if you're going to have trash like a clownfish? It's pathetic. No. Oh my God, Peterson and Malice is what I dreamed of for the past year or two. So glad and surprised it's happening. It hasn't happened yet. Don't hold your breath. I was just asking it theoretically. If it happened, would you guys be excited about it? Which I am not surprised to hear that you all would be excited about it. Thank you, Terry. Man, I should just do these more often if it's just me sitting here fielding questions like a ninja. Starving the Monkeys is a pretty solid book. Oh, okay. What is step 1 in convincing the average person about the futility of the state? There is no point in convincing the average person about anything. They're of no use. So I would say, why? I don't know. I wouldn't know. They're not going to be able to have the framework to keep it together against the cathedral either. So, all right, I am going to bounce in 1 minute. I hope you had a good time hearing my thoughts on Tim Pool and Alex Jones. Monday, I do make the videos. Thanks for being an amazing inspiration. Oh, that's very cool, kid. How old are you? Oh, you look like such a baby. Can you get Peterson on and only read super chats? Let me assure you that I have my plans and I know what to do. Have I not been bringing the beat this year? God, I've got so many looks. Just you guys wait. The thing with not having Nightshade and having the support on locals means I'm in more of a position when I do these shows to really put on a show. And I know it not only does it bring eyeballs, it's also fun for the audience. It's like, oh my God, what's happening here? Look, just think of the thumbnails, you know? So it's something I enjoy. I grew up on wrestling, WWF, where everyone's in costumes, Drag Race. It's all about putting on a spectacle. So, hey, Dr. Menace, can you spend a few minutes talking about Tim Pool and Alex Jones? Yeah, it's at the 45-minute mark around. Okay, I am going to bounce. I hope you all had a good time. Monday is Adrian Curry. We're going to do a thing. Then I have Cassandra Fairbanks and some other good stuff. Can you say the name of the venue that's actually operating in New York City? I can't because I don't want to get them in trouble. And I don't know that they really are a thing. So I'll report back maybe my locals if I can. Shalom, Dr. Menace. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Have a Merry Christmas. I love Christmas. It really is sick when people are offended by a Merry Christmas. It's so stupid. Like if you're a Christian and someone says Happy Hanukkah, they're just sharing their joy with you. No one's offended by this. Happy Shanana. Thank you for what you do. No, thank you. What country are you from? What is this R? What is that? R dollars? What is that? Like short bus dollars? Can't say the word. Okay, now I'm gonna go. I'm going to read my Margaret Sanger biography and my novel from the 20s. And I will see you very, very soon. Keep it real, people.